starting lineup as well. Last game, the first of those that she got benched, comes off the bench and gets a season-high 13 points. So maybe took that personally, but nice to see her back into the starting lineup as well.
Maryland wins the opening tip as they pass it around the perimeter. Now inside, Dulcie turns, can't hit the bucket. Rebound by Bass. And Amaya Reynolds take it up the floor for the Boilers.
And Max, you know, we've seen the Boilermakers start very quick, especially at home. It's been a tough non-conference for them. They faced Notre Dame, who were number 6 in the country at the time, then also facing South Carolina, number 1, obviously, but they've got used to it. I do see a lot of progression here, so it's a big opportunity to show that they are getting better throughout this early season.
5 seconds on the shot clock. Collier penetrating, stops. Reynolds just going to throw up a shot, and a foul is called. So bailed out late in the shot clock there. 0.3 left, but a shooting foul will send her to the line to shoot 2.
You see it there. It's something that the Boilermakers have struggled with slightly. When the shot clock seems to get to that 10-second mark, that and everything underneath it seems a little bit sporadic. And so I think the biggest thing that the Boilermakers can work on right now and then throughout the season is just, look, gets to 10 seconds, be composed, run a kind of under 10-second play, and find someone that's open. Don't force it.
Cheyenne Sellers checks out. Sarah Tibiasu will check in as Reynolds misses both from the line. Rebound Bass, who puts it back up. And the first 2 points of the game go to the Boilermakers from the offensive rebound and put back by Reagan Bass.
Yeah, Bass just so dynamic and different to kind of, obviously, Pugh and McCarthy in the middle because she brings so much speed as well.
3 ball from Poffenbarger, no good. Rebound McCarthy. Destiny Lombard taking it up 1-on-3. Will slow the offense down. Lombard kicks to Bass, now inside McCarthy. Gets the leverage and the left-handed finish. 4-0 start for the Boilermakers.
Yeah, I thought for a second there, McCarthy had almost a handoff to the face there. Gets away with it though.
Tibiasu for 3. No good off front iron, rebound Collier. Maryland lit on the bucket thus far. Collier for 3. No good. Rebound Tibiasu. Maryland resetting the offense. Smeichel, guarded by Collier, drives to the paint. Can't get it off the glass. Rebounded by McCarthy. Maryland really struggling to get those shots to fall.
And the Boilermakers, though, they need to make the most of these opportunities. It's hard to tell, you know, throughout the game how many times the Terrapins are going to be shooting this badly. I expect it to be very few, but if the Boilermakers aren't getting points down the other end, then it means nothing, right? Maryland can play as bad as they like for this period.
Lombard with a good blow by, but couldn't get the bucket to go. Dulcie inside, fouled by McCarthy. Count the bucket. Christina Dulcie with the 2 and chance for 3 from the line.
And the Boilermakers rely on that physicality in the paint through McCarthy, through Pugh, who you'll see coming off the bench throughout this game. Obviously, Maryland can match that, and Dulcie one of those players. That's where it's going to be up to the Boilermakers to try and make something happen with those deep 2s, long 3s.
No good on the free throw, so no 3-point play. Now Collier gives to Lombard. Lombard had a double-double last time out. Now Reynolds seeing her second start for the Boilermakers. A kicked ball, and it will be a Purdue inbound on the baseline.
Well, I think when you watch Maryland play, it's one of the few kind of critiques you can have against them is sometimes they do follow the ball slightly, but the Boilermakers not having any runs off the ball there. So Maryland happy to just stand there man-to-man and watch the Boilermakers try and play something.
Lombard looked for the pass to McCarthy, but there was no roll. And a turnover. Smeichel for 3. Way off target. An air ball for Smeichel. And the Mackey crowd going to let her know about it. Substitute coming in, Bree McDaniel coming in for Kayleen Smeichel. Bree McDaniel, 2024 All Big Ten honorable mention. She had 8 points in their last game against Mount St. Mary's.
You know, Smeichel 5 games in a row earlier in the season with 20 points, and she has kind of cooled off slightly there, and you see it a little bit.
Bass thought she got fouled. Refs disagreed. Inside to Dulcie. but it goes off the hands of Dulcie and out of bounds. Some very sloppy play to start for the Terrapins.
Nice veteran move there by Bass, just putting her hands up and let the Terrapins make their own mistakes there.
Maryland now applying a full court press. Reynolds and Bass are just passing it around. Lombard for three, catch and shoot, no good. Rebounded by Poffenbarger.
Yeah, Max, we saw him.
Taken away by Lombard. On the break, Destiny Lombard misses the layup. Oh my, you don't see that very often. Destiny Lombard with what could have been the easiest points of the game. 0 for 3 from the field to start.
Yeah, that's shocking there from Lombard. Someone who finds herself on the break often just because of the amount of speed that she has. Maybe just thinking there was more pressure behind her than there was.
Great interior defense from Bass to force that miss from Dulcie. Poor shooting has been the theme early thus far. Maryland 1 of 7 from the field. Purdue 2 of 6. Reynolds drives, can't get the bucket, but draws the foul from Ali Kubek, and she'll go to the line for 2 more free throws.
I don't like that play, right? Nothing's happening once again. No real runs off the ball. Maryland's coming out here a man right now, so it's a easily defendable kind of offense. If the Boilermakers aren't moving around, Reynolds sees that, just takes it straight into the paint. The vertical runs, vertical passes are something that the Terrapins didn't quite pick up on early against Mount St. Mary, so maybe the Boilermakers should target that.
Purdue not cashing in on their free passes here. So we take a look at the foul from Kubek. Reynolds has now missed her first 4 free throws, so 2 trips to the line for the Boilers that have resulted in nothing. Tibiasu on the baseline, kick out. Schmeichel, 3. No good. Just cannot find the bucket for either of these teams.
It might be the cold temperatures, Max, outside. They're not quite warming up yet, but hopefully they're going to start defrosting as this game continues.
So a turnover from Purdue on what was a pretty poor pass to Destiny Lombard, who just couldn't pull it in. Thus far, we're about 5 minutes into the game, just 6 points between the two teams and 5 turnovers. 3 for Purdue, 2 for Maryland. Schmeichel drives on McCarthy, can't get the bucket. Rebound Dulcie, puts it back up, still can't get it. Rebound Collier.
Doesn't make it, but you just see the athleticism there of Dulcie getting in between what's almost a triple team. Just such an exceptional player. Happy to get in there and be outnumbered.
Rashonda Jones getting her first minutes for Purdue. Now Lombard gives back to Collier. He's going to drive to the middle, gives back to McCarthy. Can't get the bucket to go. Rebounded by Mira McLean. Now on the break, Bree McDaniel. Pull up. Can't get it. Rolls around the rim and out. Rebound Dulcie. Dulcie trying to fight her way through. Stuffed out by Jones. Jump ball. And it will go the direction of Purdue. As it is Purdue ball out of the break. Lombard wide open on the 3. Got it. One finally goes down for Purdue.
Exactly. It's just a much better play. Make your play, get some runs off the ball, and we see Lombard get open there. Sometimes Maryland has a tendency to follow the ball a little bit, but they're not going to do that if no one's moving. There we see a bit more movement. Nice drawn-up play out of the timeout.
McDaniel trying to drive. Can't get the bucket. A foul is called. That'll go on Mira McLean for the loose ball foul, and it will stay Purdue basketball.
You see the replay on as the ball was coming down there. Just too much physicality. A little shove in the back.
Right now, Purdue must be doing something right defensively. 1 of 12 for Maryland to start. Bass to the right side. Can't get it to go. Rebounded by Dulcie. She's got 4 rebounds now. Tipped away by Collier. It'll stay Maryland ball.
Yeah, that one not reaching Schmeichel there, but I think for the Boilermakers, Max, right now, with Maryland just shooting as badly as they are, 8% from the field right now, they've got to take more time as the shot clock goes down, and they just have to come away with points because it's just frustration more than anything. Maryland are going to start heating up as this game goes on. Purdue really should be above 10 points.
And for Maryland, Michael is 0 for 4 from the field right now. She shoots at a 52% mark normally, as that one doesn't fall either. Maryland needs to get something to fall. Just seeing something go through the nylon would help them immensely right now as Rashunda Jones resets the offense for Purdue. Locked out by Poffenbarger. Now Bass driving to the left side, trying to fit through. Great move, finding the seam between the two defenders and finishing with the left hand.
Absolutely stunning. Just stepped through the middle of the double team there.
Let's take a look at the Terrapins. Shoot 51% on the season. Easy bucket there for Dulcie. That's the kind of ball movement they need.
Yeah, much better. McDaniel, nice spin there, just opening up Dulcie. I mean, Max, to be honest, neither side are running that many offensive plays right now, so defensively it's easy. We're starting to see them kind of just shake out of whatever haze they came out with.
Now Rashunda Jones hands to Sophie Swanson. 7 on the shot clock. Swanson gets a screen from McCarthy. Tries to kick out to Jones, who will drive to the paint and finish with the left hand. Way off platform and a great finish from Rashunda Jones.
I think Jones noticed there that McDaniel had her back to us and just followed her into the paint, ran right past her. And although a lot of traffic, a pretty easy layup.
Offensive foul called. Illegal screen on Christina Dulcie. And Maryland just cannot get it going. Another turnover. They're shooting 14% from the field. And coming into this game, they were 3rd in the country in field goal percentage, 51.08% from the field.
You've got a whole host of players for the Terrapins who go and score 20 points with ease, and right now none of them are showing up. There just seems to be a bit of confusion about exactly what they're trying to do on the offensive end.
Rashunda Jones, pull up 2. And now Maryland looking to break at pace. Smichael kicks wide. Poffenbarger. Now Tibiasu for 3. No good, long, and foul called on Purdue. So stay Maryland basketball. That foul goes against Sophie Swanson.
So Maryland love those long vertical passes in the transition. The Boilermakers have kind of got to keep their eyes open like Collier did earlier on, but we see quicker hands there and a lot of Maryland players getting open. So I think Terrapins just need to kind of go back to that, right? Speed up the pace of this play.
Head coach Katie Gerald's looking on at her team. Not off to a terrible start. They've recovered from what was some poor shooting. Purdue now shooting 50% from the field. Smichael, foul called.
Yeah, Purier just getting in the way there. Maybe a slightly harsh call. The freshman just getting her hands in the way. All she really needed to do is just set herself and block that lane that was so open for Smichael.
Officials called that foul correction on Ella Collier. I think she just grabbed her on the way through as Smichael hits the first of her 2 free throws.
That's where, yeah, me and Purier both thought it was on her.
And Smichael is 2 for 2, so she's finally on the board. After an 0 for 4 start from the field, she hits her first 2 free throws. Rashunda Jones will run the offense for Purdue, the de facto point guard when she's in the game. Hands to Swanson. Inside to Purrier. Collier driving to the baseline, can't find it. Harsh pass was going to Bass. Great save. Rashunda Jones able to get it back. Kick to Collier for 3. Almost got it off the glass, and a foul called. And that will go against Kendall Purrier. And a little slow to get up is Ali Kubek, who was the victim of that foul.
You know, obviously a great save there by Bass, but again, gets to 10 seconds and the Boilermakers just seems to completely lose all kind of sense on what they're trying to do on the offensive end. And there's no reason to, because they are so composed up until that point. Just need to try and run some more vertical lanes, vertical runs, because they're doing a lot of movement, trying to overload the weak side and doing a lot on the outside, but that favors this Maryland defense.
Maryland still struggling to get one from open play. Poffenbarger for 3. No good off the back iron. It'll go out of play. and it will stay Maryland basketball, last off the hands of Sophie Swanson.
Yeah, the Terrapins right now just need to do maybe what they don't want to do, but when they get the ball in their hands, a free player gets the ball in their hands, just need to slow it down.
For three, no good. 0 for 8 to start for the Terrapins from beyond the arc. Jones, hard screen from Bass. Jones blowing right by everyone. Rashunda Jones, another bucket. She's got 9.
I'd say Jones and Lombard, such similar players in style with that speed, and you see it right there. What I was asking for from the Boilermakers, get vertical, make that run. And Maryland, lots of mistakes.
Another offensive foul called on Maryland, another illegal screen. And that one will go against Poffenbarger. Maryland just cannot get it going.
You're talking about a team that went in and, well, last few games, but especially that Duke game, came out absolutely firing, and that's what they normally do. So I think more than anything, just getting inside their own heads. Purdue's doing a good job, I think, inside the paint, but on the outside, there's space there for the Terrapins to take open shots.
No shot clock. Jones will run the offense. 7 seconds left on the clock. Bass for 3. Got it! Reagan Bass, a rare 3, and she hit it. McDaniel will just toss one up, but it will not count. Got it off after the whistle.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the action.
10 basketball here in Mackey Arena. As Purdue just trying to get the ball inbounds, and Rashunda Jones will get it. Maryland will fall back.
But that's only the second time that we've seen the high press from Maryland against Mount St. Mary. I think they did it about 7 times in the first quarter.
Offensive foul called on Kendall Puryear. Illegal screen, so Maryland will take possession.
And it's just those little mistakes that are going to give Maryland just the chance to reset, get back into it. I do like the fact that Katie Geralds takes that timeout after that big 3 from Tibiasu.
Poffenbarger was wide open. She couldn't hit it, but rebound McDaniel. She gets it blocked by Rashunda Jones, but it will stay Maryland basketball.
Yeah, Dulcie's just kind of had free reign inside the arc to move the ball around. I'd like to see her just keep the ball in her hands. She's done a great job assisting it, moving it around. Take it on yourself and just drive the hoop, because every time she's done, she's either come away with points or she's come away with a foul.
McDaniel hits the jump shot off the assist from Smeichel. Maryland has now cut the lead to single digits, just 8. Rashunda Jones, Purdue offense trying to set. Swanson trying to drive, finds Reagan Bass as an option. Bass looking for a little bit of space, tries to float it in and can't get it to go. And here comes Maryland on the break. It's 1-on-3. Dulcie gives. Floater from Smeichel is no good, but an offensive foul called regardless. Smeichel with a little bit of a push off, and the ref's not going to let her get away with it.
That's an exceptional job there by the Boilermakers to track back. 3-on-1 was the breakaway initially. But going back to Purdue on the offensive end, you know, Bass drives it inside, okay, great, but there was absolutely no options for her off the ball. So Maryland easily can just collapse and feel comfortable knowing that no one's getting open.
Purdue still shooting 50% from the field to Maryland's 17. Lombard can't quite get that one to fall. Rebound Poffenbarger, but a slight miscommunication on the pass. That nearly went out of bounds, but Smeichel able to recover. Now driving on Collier, and a foul is called on Collier there. And so 2 shots coming for Smeichel.
You know, Max, I think that every single defensive foul the Boilermakers given away has been in that square to the right-hand side underneath the hoop. They've got to figure out what is causing so many issues there. But it's almost every time the Terrapins drive towards the hoop.
Smeichel hits her first free throw from the line. if there is any positive to take from Maryland as of right now, it would be that they're shooting pretty well from the line, now 6 of 8.
Well, I think the other positive, Max, is the fact that Maryland's playing their worst basketball they've played all year, and they're only down 6 points.
Reynolds now to Lombard. Purdue has not scored in the last about 2 minutes, 30 seconds. Now Jones, 8 on the shot clock. Jones driving all the way to the rack, finishes and one! Rashunda Jones finishing through the contact.
Just such a huge moment there, Jones. You see the speed. Lombard did a similar run as well. Those two just need to keep doing that because Maryland haven't really been able to control those vertical runs. It's a big moment here for the Boilermakers, right? Trying to extend that lead as much as they can before they get into halftime.
Rashunda Jones, 5 of 6 from the field, and she converts the three-point play. So 11 points for Rashunda Jones, and Purdue extends the lead to 9.
Yeah, nice time to make the first free throw of the game for the Boilermakers.
Tibiasu to the wing. Now McLean gives inside to Dulcie, guarded by Bass. Dulcie couldn't get that one to go, puts it back up, and good. Got her own offensive rebound and put it back up for a 2.
And that's exactly what I wanted to see from Dulcie there, right? You know, pass the ball a lot inside the paint, but this time just take it on your own, right? The first time doesn't go up, but just because of her dominance, she's probably going to get a second go, which she does.
Offense resets. 10 on the shot clock now. Lombard was open, elected to pass it. Now Jones driving to the paint, all the way to the rack. They just can't stop Rashunda Jones on the drive. She's 6 of 7.
And that's the most composed, Max, that we've seen the Boilermakers under 10 seconds. Slow things down, have a look, 10 seconds, and that's a veteran play by the sophomore.
Maryland running down the shot clock as much as possible. About 5 seconds separates game and shot clock. Now Sellers, 10 on the shot clock, guarded by Jones. Gets a screen from Dulcie, switch from Reynolds. Swarming Maryland right now. McLean, no good on the jumper, rebounded by Reynolds. 4 seconds on the shot clock. Gets it forward to Jones. Jones puts it up for 3. No good.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the action.
Driving to the paint, wanted to give it to Harper, but it goes out of bounds, and it will be Maryland basketball. Purdue has not scored a field goal in 2 minutes, 32 seconds, as Maryland will have a long inbound, almost a 50-foot pass. You can see it here, the turnover starting to rack up for Purdue, 4 in this quarter alone, 10 in the game total. Tibiasu gets to McDaniel, driving, foul, but the basket is no good, and so go to the line for 2 and an opportunity to tie the game.
See Dulcie make that run a few times this game. Nice to see McDaniel doing it as well, right from the outside, just charging in and make the Boilermakers do something defensively. We've seen now Maryland have a bit more success. I think the Boilermakers just rushing into that one, thinking that it was going to be another deeper 2.
McDaniel hits the first from the line, and now this one for an opportunity to tie the game. The referee kind of holding up play here.
I'm not sure what quite happened there. Everyone was laughing about it.
McDaniel, it will fall in. Poffenbarger ended up hitting the floor at the end of that. I'm not sure what happened there.
Hard as well. You see it there.
The first tie since we first began the game about an hour and 15 minutes ago. Jones rips the ball away. And now the offense will have to reset again, 15 seconds.
And this is where the Boilermakers just need to slow the tempo with this game down.
Jones out to Bass for 3. No good off front iron, rebounded by the Terrapins. Now Bree McDaniel, she's had the ball in her hands a lot. Smeichel was closed down by 2. Now McDaniel Gives to Poffenbarger. Now Tibiasu. Switched on to Lombard. Now 8 seconds on the shot clock. McDaniel getting a screen from Dulcie. Mid-range. Got it. Maryland with their first lead of the game, 48-46.
And that's one of the deepest shots we've seen from Maryland in terms of shot clock wise, really drained it down. The Boilermakers did a nice job of putting pressure on the outside, but Maryland, a beautiful run, and Dulcie, great screen.
Foul called on Maryland, and we will have 2 shots from the line coming up. There's an off-ball foul, and Elena Harper will go to the line to shoot 2. That foul goes against Dulcie.
We'll take another look at this one. Lots more movement from both sides, right? We're seeing that, and we don't get the actual foul, but it's off the ball, and really just, again, an indication that away from play, things are happening, and it's what you've wanted to see from both of these sides from the get-go, and they're only just starting to do it now.
Elena Harper hits her first. These are just her first shots of the game. She misses the second, and rebounded by Maryland. And now on the break is Maryland. 4-on-3. Kicks to the corner. Schmeichel trying to get inside. What a move! And the finish plus the foul.
Exceptional, right? Just absolutely dancing towards the basket, going round the double team, going through it, in fact. Such a nice play there by Schmeichel. Bass just not getting the support she needs. Bit more communication needed, right, to just get Harper to come help. See Puya now checking in. I think just need to add a bit more, I guess, physicality. It's tough for Harper to come into this one later into the game with the way it is going inside the paint.
Reagan Bass checks out for the first time this game. And Sophie Swanson will check in for her. More of a small ball lineup, better 3-point shooters on the floor for the Boilermakers as Maryland really pressing high up the floor. Collier for 3, catch and shoot. Ella Collier sinks another one. She's 2 for 4 from 3 today, and Mackey is getting loud.
Collier and Swanson work together so much before the games to run a play just like that. Nice job getting the 3 here, and Maryland just needs to come away with something.
McDaniel stepping through with a great finish to silence the crowd. Maryland now back up by 3. Back and forth we go. Less than a minute left in the game. Rather in the quarter, not the game. We still got another quarter of exciting basketball ahead of us.
It's not done yet, Maxie, but you know, the big thing for the Boilermakers now is they need to crash the glass when they take these longer shots.
Jones kicks, poor pass. That one was just way too wide for Lombard to take care of. And another turnover for Purdue.
Just doing too much there, right? You know, Jones had so much success. She made her way all the way to the basket once again. I get you want to hit some big 3 shot. And a nice job by Jones defensively there. But yeah, Purdue's done a good job when they run a play which is kind of designed to open up a player on the outside. They've done that, right? I don't know why they don't go towards it more than 50% from behind the arc.
Maryland will get it in. That one, kind of a lazy pass, but it does find the hands of McDaniel. And now Tibiasu will run the offense. 11 seconds separates shot and game clock. McDaniel looking for space, got a hand in there was Jones. Fighting for the ball is everybody on the floor, jump ball. And it will stay the way of Maryland as the shot clock does not reset, so just 7 seconds left for Maryland to get up a shot.
I think the design of that play for Maryland was bring the Boilermakers off from behind the arc and try and find someone in that, you know, deep 2 that we've seen them hit so many times, but they elected to drive in, allowing the Boilermakers, who were already standing there, pretty much both sides were standing underneath the basket.
Ali Kubek checked in for the Terrapins. Amaya Reynolds checked in for the Boilers. 5 seconds on the shot clock. 3 from Poffenbarger. No good off back iron. Offensive rebound, Schmeichel. Inside to Bree McDaniel, who's closed down. Pass to Poffenbarger. Great pass. And now with just 8 seconds left, Purdue has the last shot. Reynolds taking it up the floor, gives to Lombard. Lombard penetrating and finishing with the layup. Oh, what an exciting end to the third quarter.
This will be a huge accomplishment for their squad. Now, guys, back over to you.
Thanks, Ellie, and we get started here in the fourth quarter. Lombard, wide open three. She's got it! Tie game, 55 apiece.
The big thing for the Boilermakers now is the rebounds. You know, offensively, they're not getting any, but defensively, they can't give Maryland second chances like they're doing now.
Smeichel didn't hit it, but a good rebound from Poffenbarger, and she puts it back up for two. And a travel called on Amaya Reynolds.
I'll add small mistakes as well to that list, but you know, the biggest thing really is the rebounds. You can't keep giving a team as good as Maryland second chances. I know they haven't played their best ball today, but they're heating up. They're getting into this one.
Tibiasu to inbound. Looking to give it to somebody and ends up giving it to Kubik. Now Poffenbarger around to Sellers for two. Got it. That mid-range has been her bread and butter all game long. She's got 12.
Yeah, beautiful job. Taking it to the outside, putting it back in. And just an absolute clean shot there from that kind of two-corner margin.
Lombard for three. No good off front iron, rebounded by Poffenbarger. And now all the way up the floor is Kubek. And a timeout is called by Katie Geralds.
You know, amount of credit goes to Coach Frias, the Iowa native, for doing that and what she's done over these 23 years.
Last year was a very rare, what you would call down year for Maryland basketball, as Bass will penetrate and finish with the right hand. But as I was saying, Maryland basketball, they had their first 10-loss season since the 2009-2010 season. So nearly 13 straight years of domination. And they're looking to recover now as Sellers couldn't get that one through. That may have been tipped by Collier. Now Purdue on the break, 3-on-3. Swanson wanted the pull-up, gives to Bass. What a pass!
Just such a great heads-up play there by Swanson. Slow things down for a second. Looked like she was going to rush that shot. Sees the pass open. That's much better from the Boilermakers.
Tibiasu now to Sellers. Giving inside to Kubek. Now Smeichel trying to drive around, gives outside to Tibiasu for three. Got it. Tibiasu with a three from the corner and a 5-point lead for Maryland.
And this is more the number 7 Maryland that we expected to see today. Getting into it, feeling calm under pressure. This is where the Boilermakers are going to have to step up.
Bass nearly got that one stripped away. Swanson from the corner, may have been tipped. And now Maryland on the break. Tibiasu gives outside to Sellers, but a poor pass. But Poffenbarger wide open for three. Got it!
And now Maryland getting into their own, starting to stride on that offensive end. The Boilermakers, though, they just need to start running something. You know, Bass on that last possession just ran towards Swanson in the corner, but that's easy for the Terrapins. It's just going to track in that direction. Then you've got 3 players on Swanson when she finally gets the ball.
McCarthy spinning around, looking for a lane, couldn't find it. And rebound Maryland. Looking to send it to double digits. Sellers all the way through, fouled. And she'll go to the line for 2 more.
I think the big thing for Maryland right now, Max, is they've taken complete control, of the speed of this game, and they've sped it right up in a moment where the Boilermakers would probably much prefer the game tempo just to slow down for a little bit. Honestly, a foul in that situation is probably one of the best things, aside from taking a timeout, Purdue could do just to try and kill the tempo a little bit.
Cheyenne Sellers will head to the line. She's got 12 points on 5 of 9 shooting from the field, 2 of 2 on free throws. She'll miss the first. Scheinseller's a 78% shooter from the line. And to a 4 for now. Dulce gets the rebound, can't get it to go on the offensive board. So Maryland leaves with nothing.
That would have been terrible for the Boilermakers. You give away the free throw, nothing from it, and then suddenly an easy layup. Nice job being aware underneath the glass.
Puryear hands to Collier, guarded by Sellers. Collier trying to drive, but it was a poor pass. And once again, another turnover from the Boilermakers on a poor pass. Now McDaniel, hands inside, Schmeichel just picking them apart right now.
It's been 3 mistakes from the Boilermakers on the offensive end. That's just allowed Maryland to pick it up.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the action.
It just changes the dynamic of this game. Gets the crowd-
Tibiasu stolen away by Lombard. Lombard on the break. Won't miss that time. 4-point ball game.
And Maryland has to
Timeout,
set a
Maryland.
timeout. Well, we're looking for who was going to step up for the Boilermakers, and this momentum's changed since Puryear got that foul on the inbound from Bass.
Poffenberger is open for 3. She will sink it. Lombard got a little antsy trying to steal it, and Poffenberger took the open 3.
Yeah, Lombard got so caught up there, her back was to Poffenberger and just takes the shot instead of passing.
Lombard hounded by Tibiasu. Now Jones, 10 on the shot clock. Another slow possession for Purdue. Jones is hounded by 2 Terrapins. It'll go out of bounds, and it will be Maryland basketball.
I think Maryland finally waking up to the fact that there's times the Boilermakers just sit there and don't run a play, and it's easy, right? Double team comes forward, no one's moving off the ball.
No option given for Rashunda Jones there, as that turnover was essentially inevitable. The ball finds Bree McDaniel's hands one more time. Now Tibiasu. Poffenbarger 3, no good off front iron. That would have been huge for Maryland.
Purdue's getting lucky, I think defensively a little bit, not putting enough pressure on the outside, because if Maryland just hit some of those deep shots the final 2 minutes, it's going to end this game.
They got Bass, but blocked away by Dulce, and it'll stay Purdue basketball. They found Bass on the slip pass, but really nice help defense there from Dulce. Lombard to inbound. They'll find Collier for 2. Got it. Great inbound play from Purdue to find a wide open option.
And a few minutes ago, right, that's what we were asking for from the Boilermakers. Run an actual play out of the inbound. They do that. Find a player open. Easy peasy.
McDaniel wide open is Tibiasu in the corner. No good. Rebound Dulce. Dulce going into the paint and got the bucket. The long rebounds have been killing Purdue all night long, and just another one, the 16th offensive rebound for the Maryland Terrapins. Jones driving to the left, rejected by Dulce, but a foul is called. And she couldn't believe it as she went out of that block. Ooh, I don't know. That looked pretty clean to me. I'm not sure about you, partner.
It looked clean. It looked very clean. And I actually didn't hear the whistle. I thought Dulce was just running around celebrating, to be honest. But, you know, Jones just telegraphing a little bit. It's worked so many times, but you can only go back to the same play, you know, to a certain point before Maryland wakes up, and they do wake up there. So they've got to try and do something differently here, the Boilermakers.
Jones, a rare 2 straight misses from the line, a 90% shooter on the season, and she missed both. She's now 3 of 5 on the afternoon. Now Tibiasu. Maryland's just going to run this clock as much as they can. Guarded by Lombard, screen from Dulce. Now McDaniel Looks for an option. Smichael for three. Got it. That may be a dagger as that puts the lead back to 10.
Just great patience there by Maryland.
Purrier inside. No foul called. And there's the foul called. That one will likely go against Rashunda Jones on the reach-in.
And then the MMAX, you kind of talk about that dagger, it just feels those long shots. And that one in particular is going to be what closes this game out. Unfortunately for the Boilermakers, showed so much fight, but just as Maryland did get hot, they never really felt like they put enough pressure on the outside.
So Tibiasu will hold the ball as long as the shot clock gives. 30 seconds between shot and game clock. Tibiasu working on Lombard. Tried to feed it in with a slip pass. Good defense from Jones to grab that on the steal. Now Jones running away. Collier for three. No good, rims out. Rebounded by Maryland. And that one, and they will intentionally foul there. But that may have done it. A 10-point lead for Maryland with 20.6 left. Unless something absolutely miraculous happens, this game is likely over.
I do agree with you, Max. I mean, you got to give a lot of credit to the Boilermakers. They fought the whole way through this one. Maryland obviously haven't played like they have this whole season. But, you know, we've seen how those games have gone against top 10 opponents. Notre Dame came in here and dismantled the Boilermakers. South Carolina, Purdue, I believe, held in there, you know, at least until close to halftime. But then it was a massive, 40-point deficit. At least today the Boilermakers can come away with their heads held high, knowing that, they fought the whole way through this one against a Maryland team which is exceptional, even if they didn't show it always today.
So a foul, and that will put Maryland into the bonus. And so 2 shots coming from the line. As Smichael will hit the first from the line. Smichael is 6 of 6 this game from the free throw line. And I just cursed her.
Terrible person.
That will go out of bounds, and it'll be Purdue basketball as Smichael is now 6 of 7.
Just ruined their perfect game.
Foul called on Maryland. Tibiasu will pick up the foul, and it'll be an inbound for Purdue. Not sure why Maryland would foul there, but
I think it was accidental. I don't think it was on purpose.
so Rashunda Jones will inbound for Purdue.
I think maybe they fouled because for the first time all game, Maryland's actually enjoying playing basketball right now.
Jones for 3. No good off back iron. Rebounded by Purrier, who pulled back up and get the second chance points. Even if it is a moral victory, it is a victory nonetheless. But the Terrapins, it's out of bounds and the game's not over. 0.7 left as Lombard actually tipped it out of Tibiasu's hands. And so Maryland basketball with 0.7 to go. Everyone's standing, waiting just to inbound this. And so that will do it from West Lafayette, Indiana. Maryland takes a 78-69 win. It wasn't comfortable at times, but still a 9-point win to open Big Ten play.